Hey everyone, this is Tara Fioriani.
And I'm Justin Boggs.
And you're hanging out with Not the HR Lady,
a web series about all things people.
No BS. Look, HR is not a four-letter word.
And this is not the HR Lady.
You know what's so funny is I wonder if people know that we listen to it before we start each intro. It's not just put in because it gets us really fired up. I know we talk about this a lot.
But it gets us fired up. And
it does.
We always
mouth it to each other.
Like, hey, that's you, or hey, that's me.
Yeah, no BS. Because it's us, right? Talking.
There's a lot of good stuff to be fired up about. We hit 2,000 subscribers.
Which is so fucking cool. Yay. Hey, thank you.
Seriously.
That's just on YouTube alone. But YouTube really counts, right? Because that's where a lot of people post their videos and really...
That's just like where it matters.
Where it matters, yeah.
You know, people look at it and they go, "Well, how many YouTube subscribers?"
I mean, our last video has like 400 likes. It's pretty crazy.
Yeah. So thank you for engaging with us and checking out our content and liking our stuff.
Yeah, we mentioned on other episodes that this could have been career suicide, right? I mean, we talk about the things, and I get messages. I get 100 messages a day talking about this is. The things people don't talk about. And people are so grateful that we are, because they're things that they've been going on too long in the workplace, right? But as Katniss Everdeen would say in a propo, to rally the oppressed to defeat President Snow and the Capitol, fire is catching.
And if we burn,
you burn with us.
Nice callback to last week's show. That was good.
Thank you.
Giving our kids up and the Hunger Games style. If school reopens, of course.
Yeah, we had a great post-show discussion about that. Not the HR Lady. Really quickly doing a catch-up of the last episode and talking about all the topics, and that came up. It's like I never thought about that, but that's kind of what it is. It's like, hey, cool. So there are how many kids in the U.S.? We're going to let 15,000 of them die.
But what we were also talking about, like in our after show kind of talk recap, there were some people that were like, I didn't even fucking think about the bus drivers.
No,
school buses are like a little fucking petri dish.
Yeah, and we just
school bus.
We discussed this last week, but like the majority of school personnel is over the age of 50. And I loved seeing John Oliver talk about it last night. We talked about it last week, which was really cool. I love that other people are talking about the same topics. So, John Oliver.
Love you.
It's really quick. We love you. But we did talk about it first. So I'm just saying. We hate AT&T too, though, by the way. This is the epitome, though, of cancel culture, right? As Trump lamented, and if you haven't, I know that you actually weren't watching it. My mom and I did.
I can't fucking stand to watch it.
I know.
Because it's just like, well, it doesn't matter what he says. It's all a fucking lie.
It's
and
just
it was
lie
like,
after lie
but
after
it was
lie.
so funny because Fox had to fact check in the middle of a interview. So it obviously wasn't live.
No.
Because of that. And they had to cover their ass because they're like, well, it says in this poll that, we're actually doing really shitty. And he's like, hey, Kaylee, can you give me the poll? Can you give me the poll?
Dumb. I like
okay, here it is. This is the poll. And he was like, okay. And then it transition to okay, so this is what we have, and this is what he was showing us. Some random fucking European CDC model that doesn't show half of what we were talking about.
And wasn't verified. It was from months prior.
Yeah.
And
so it was just
irrelevant.
They're handing him this stuff to make sure he doesn't fucking explode.
Him.
Yeah, to pacify.
They have to stick that little pacifier in his mouth to
his little foo-foo.
His little foo-foo.
You're doing great, buddy. You're doing great.
You're doing good.
So good.
We're gonna give you a real big hug when we're done. A sticker and a lollipop.
Gold sticker and some ice cream.
2 dum-dums and not Kaylee. Oh, that was mean.
Oh, man.
Dum-dums like the kids get at the barber shop.
Mm-hmm.
I really don't like her, though. Can I just talk about this? I'm always hoes before bros. Always. I really am. Because women are discriminated against enough in the workplace, in life, and whatever. We can't even wear spaghetti strap tank tops. One of the best things I saw this weekend, and we'll put it up right now so you can see the source and stuff, but one of the best things I saw this weekend was this meme or this little Instagram post, and it was women can't, girls can't wear spaghetti strap tank tops, and you can enforce that.
Yeah.
But you're saying you can't enforce mask wearing? Like,
Yeah.
our daughter.
But that was the argument, right?
Yeah, and our 12-year-old daughter wore leggings to school. Leggings, okay? And she is very modest because she is a developed 12-year-old girl. And, like, she is very self-conscious about that fact, as we all were when we were 12 for the most part. And so she's wearing leggings with a long sweater. It's not anywhere close.
And not just a long sweater, like a big sweater.
Like
she
a giant
loves
long
big
sweater. Yes. Like an extra men's large, like sweater with leggings that halfway went to her knees.
But apparently that was too distracting.
For the boys.
What boys?
Like,
or are we talking about the men here?
Who?
That are saying like,
my
whoa.
boys are not distracted by this.
No.
Not
No.
distracted by
I was never
this.
distracted by a woman's shoulders in school. Like, ever.
You know what they
Was I
taught-
ever like, oh my God, I can see her shoulders. Holy shit, I can't focus in class.
You know what is not a category in porn?
Shoulder porn?
I swear to God. Fact check that too.
Guess what's
Like,
going to
it's not a
happen after
thing.
this episode?
There's going to be.
Our phones are listening to us right now.
I know.
Pornhub's about to throw it up there.
Yeah, there's going to be shoulder. What do you think they do there? Are they like this? Are they like
Yeah. They're just doing
they're
this.
just doing like the shoulders?
Or like the Harlem Shake, right? Where the shoulders are just
Or like
going.
a real like a shimmy. Like maybe shoulders are sexy. I don't know. A shimmy is weird.
shit.
I don't know. Like it's incredible that I'm admitting that this weekend's thing with Trump was hosted by Chris Wallace, who is on Fox, but he's a really fair journalist. He has great integrity. He calls everybody out on their bullshit. I mean,
Again.
like,
And when Trump tried to call him out, he was like, but.
No.
And then they go transition back to when he said all that.
The interview is absolutely bananas. I suggest everybody watch it if you haven't. At least
That
go watch
shit
the
was
clips.
B-A-N.
It was totally Gwen.
A-S.
Totally Gwen.
Bananas.
B-A-N-A-N-A-S.
That shit was Gwen.
It was totally Gwen. He talked, so like, here's the thing. During the interview, he talked about cancel culture. Trump talked about us canceling the rebel flag.
Yeah.
He talked about us canceling
He said
monuments.
we can't forget our past.
We can't.
And it's
No. We can't forget our heritage. Our upbringing.
And that's what I don't think he's understanding is nobody's trying to forget the past.
No.
We're just
We
trying
fucking
not
know.
to. We know what happens. We're just also trying not to worship and celebrate
people who
the hate.
enslaved others.
Does
People-
Germany have fucking statues of Hitler
Do
and
they?
all of his fucking
Oh,
posse?
let's discuss.
No.
No, they don't.
They can't even
No.
have a Nazi flag in
No.
a video game sold in Germany.
Yeah,
It has to be changed.
they're Nazis about it.
Because they're like,
Oh,
no.
is that too soon?
That's good though. But like exactly that, right? I mean, no, we're not doing that. And companies and high profile executives are being canceled daily.
Absolutely.
And why? We've talked about this before. Like it's because we aren't taking it anymore.
No, we're just not taking it anymore. Like, we are now calling out bad behavior. We're calling out people who are seeking to silence the rest of us. Like, you can't just give people $500 and a non-disclosure agreement and say like, hey, sign this because we don't want you to say anything about us in the foreseeable future. Like, you can't do that anymore. This is not how it works. We're not taking it. We're not taking harassment, misogynist, sexist, bullies, xenophobes,
like,
harassers,
we see you.
bigots. We're looking at you. We're all looking at you. It's not just us. As we said before, fire is catching. So what's crazy is like we're loud about it.
Yeah.
And it's clearer and clearer than ever.
Yeah, I would agree.
Even
Like-
the White House.
Has backpedaled.
Yeah. Yeah.
On its international students need to get the fuck out of here if schools are online only.
I mean,
What?
it's like, no United States for you.
Sorry.
We're going to repurpose the soup Nazi and like just
No
be like,
school for you.
No school for you.
This is a good Seinfeld reference.
A good Seinfeld reference.
I wonder how many of our audiences have watched Seinfeld.
I mean, so it has its own issues, right? And that's what's crazy is it has its own issues, and I'm not giving it like any kind of like platform, but it's a really interesting look at white culture, in my opinion, in New York City in that time frame. And if you want to understand what people were talking about or the narrative that was happening, I don't think they did a really good job of shielding some of the more generalized stereotypes of that era. So am I talking about it and perpetuating it in a way that's funny? Yes, because that's what I do. However, go do your own investigation and research and decide what shows you should watch and what shows you shouldn't, and what shows you should really like kind of cancel if we're going to go cancel culture.
Yeah.
Because of their racist undertones or their misogynistic undertones. And if you go misogyny, I mean, like that's pretty much every
Well, I mean, there's
movie.
shows today, like a couple of years ago, the show Blackish
Oh, yeah.
changed to Brokish. Because like one of their daughters in that show went to college and they were like, also Blackish doesn't really sound like appropriate.
Yeah.
This is not appropriate.
Yeah.
It's a black family, but like they're doing well and like everything's okay. And like, they're not having any kind of like other issues. And I think they kind of realized that and was like,
And they changed it to Brokish?
They changed it to Brokish.
I almost hate that more, if I'm honest, because, and let me tell you why. Like,
Okay.
Let
Let's
me
talk
tell you
about
why.
it. Like, why is that worse?
So they're still a black family, though, right?
They're still a
that
black
hasn't
family.
changed, right? So Blackish, I think, is interesting, and I'm glad you brought this up, which is so funny because this is not a part of anything we decided we were going to talk
not
about. So for clarity, we don't actually script out the show too much, but we do talk about, we do put
Bullet
the
points,
narratives,
yeah.
like of what we're going to cover, and this is not one of them. So
Nope.
this is off the cuff right now, as it goes, right? As relationships and conversation go. So black is not a bad word to say. Okay? Like, here's the thing. Many people, many of my friends, many people on LinkedIn, and you can go back to my friend Madison's post just recently about, I want to be identified as a black woman, right? Not
Yeah.
African American. Like, are we going to start calling ourselves European Americans?
Right. No, we're not.
No, we're not.
We're white. We're Caucasian. That's it. That's what
Right.
we're going to go
How
by.
many white people do you think can spell the word Caucasian?
How many Republicans do you think can?
Oh,
Sorry. To anybody that listens to us that is Republican.
nobody
It's
is
probably
Republican.
zero. It's probably
I know
zero.
like 6 people probably are Republican who listen to this. But that's not my point, right?
Yeah.
Like, that's not my point at all. I don't know what my point was. What was it?
Blackish and Brokish.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
Like just changing the name.
Sorry. So Brokish, like,
Yeah.
it almost like infers a different thing, right? They're still a black family, and I realize the daughter's going to college, and I've never seen it, so I'm just speaking completely.
I have never seen a single episode, but I've seen the commercials for it.
And you
then
know they changed
And then I
it.
know they changed it because it's the same people. It's the same show.
Sure,
They've
it's
just changed
evolved.
the name. Yeah.
Right, and that was probably
that-
derived of something, I would wager.
Yeah. I mean,
Probably.
there was like a movement. I mean, it wasn't like recent, but like we've had movements in the past that like we get a lot of like media coverage for it, and
Yeah.
things change, and then it
Yeah.
kind of dies down, and it's this wave.
Oh wait,
that
I'm
kind of
sorry.
happens.
Are you talking about Black Lives Matter?
Maybe. Yeah.
So
it's this wave.
It's really cool that like a bunch of people are hiring black people. That's awesome.
Yeah.
And a bunch of people are giving money, as we've talked about, and committing to hiring black people. That's just not. That's not it, though. That's not all.
That's not all that needs to be done.
Yeah,
There needs to be more.
absolutely.
Like, have you seen the McDonald's budget?
I have. I actually shared it this morning. So when you brought it up to me, and you're like, "I want to talk about this."
This is like an everybody thing.
Yeah, I
right?
was like, oh my God, go look at our page right now. Go to our Facebook and see what people are saying because people are pissed about this. But I have some information.
Okay.
So this was actually, and I think people think it's recent, and I'm going to dispel that rumor for you. Fact check this again if you want to. You can always fact check our show. This was first put out in 2013. They actually partnered to make a website.
Which is now defunct.
Yes, it is not there anymore. It gives you a 404 error.
Because they're like, oh shit, get rid of it.
Yeah.
This is bad.
Correct. This is terrible. So the website's premise was basically to help their very poorly paid workers on why they make enough, and they're basically just selfish, essentially. So we're showing it on the screen right now. It's laughable. Go to our Facebook page, join the discussion. We have it up there. There are a lot of people who have a lot of opinions. If you spend more than $20 a month on healthcare, and hey, if you have heat, especially our friends in Canada, let us know. And God forbid you have children. And also you need to have 2 jobs.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
So,
As you saw, this is with 2 jobs. This is also if your mortgage or your rent is $600.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I don't live in BFE, Montana, where the town, population is 600.
Yeah, like that Dateline we just watched.
That Dateline we just
Yes.
watched. Like, I'm sure probably...
And that was for rent, right?
Yeah.
It was $600 a month.
So it's like, okay, like that makes sense there, but what about everywhere else?
Right. What about Austin, Texas? What about
Austin,
Los
Texas?
Angeles?
Like for $600, you're renting a closet.
Or you're living with a lot of people because
Right, but this is not what that accounts for.
no, it is
right?
not. But
and if that's what they expect,
but the
then it's like,
craziest part to me is that it
do you not have kids? Do
it's
you
like-
not have a family?
But even that aside, right? This accounts for if you make $8.25 an hour and you work 2 jobs, like 2 jobs. Okay, not
That's
one
crazy.
job, 2 jobs.
That's crazy to think about.
It's
It really
nonsense.
is. Like that's just not feasible. I mean, it's not.
No.
It's not enough to live on. And
No.
like some of it was really funny. Like the heating where
Yeah.
it's like $0, or
Yeah.
$50 here
Yeah.
and there, or $20 for the health insurance. Where
Yeah.
$20 for health insurance.
If
You're working at McDonald's, do you think they're paying that much
So
extra?
that's the thing. There's a percentage of employees who, at the time, and again, this was in 2013, but I don't know that much has changed. Frankly, in fact, it's probably gotten more expensive. But they had one plan, and very few people qualified for it, which was like $14.35 for the month for health insurance. But it was like so basic that if you had any kind of health condition, like if you had asthma, like I have asthma, if you have asthma, you're
You weren't
basically
covered.
fucked. Like
Yeah.
like that $100 in savings you're planning to spend. No. You have to get a third job. Like a third job.
Yeah.
And that's what's so crazy about our fucking country right now.
Yeah.
Which brings us to our ridiculous, still 14, I think, percent unemployment in the U.S. We still have like 30 some odd million people unemployed.
Yeah.
And there is
There is an update.
some really dire news.
So this just in.
Oh, that's your name.
You see what I did there? That was bad. I love dad puns and dad
You're a
jokes.
really good dad, so
Fucking
it's
killing it.
killing it.
Anyway,
Softy
we do.
Bears won you a lot of points.
They love it. They love Softy Bear. I've had that bear since I was 1.
I love that.
But there is an unemployment update to our lives, and the $600 that everybody has been getting as a kicker who applied for it, that ends at the end of the week. So on the 25th, it's out. The day after my birthday, it's out. Sorry, and Congress is going to need to come up with something because states are shutting down again because our rise is happening so fast. So I hope we can come
Well, we're
to a
setting
conclusion
records every day.
every day.
We're setting records every day.
Every day.
And it's July.
So I really hope they can get something passed on this stimulus.
Do you remember my friends at HR Transform? I remember Samara, my good friend, and we're going to be on their virtual conference next week. But she had mentioned, like, we might plan it for July. Here we are, right? And obviously she's since known that.
It's next year.
But at the beginning of the pandemic, it was like we're shooting for summer because we thought we would be done with this.
We thought everybody would do their fucking part and washing their hands and putting your fucking mask on and stay the fuck home. And we would be over with this by now.
100%.
But nobody did that. Everybody had to go to the bar and they have to do all their things that they wanted to do.
Right.
And now everybody's still fucking unemployed and we're hoping for a stimulus check again.
Yeah.
Which I have some information on that as well.
Tell us what you know.
Womp, womp, womp. I stole it from you. Sorry.
It's okay. I'm gonna breathe deep because I'm practicing meditation. Like my friend Amberly, you should check her out. She's on our subscribed videos. She gives you a
Is this
daily
your
insight.
Woosah?
That's my Woosah friend, Amberly Rowland. Yeah, and you should definitely Root to Rise. You should check it out.
I like it. So Congress has not been in session since July 3rd.
Yeah, we talked about this. Like,
Yeah, so almost they've had the whole fucking month off, and Mitch McConnell's bill is expected to be that he's wanting to like propose is expected to be about $1.3 trillion, which is less than half the size of the HEROES Act that Nancy Pelosi proposed.
Tell me more.
But that's just like, okay,
What?
so yeah, like where is all that? Where are they making the cuts? And that's what nobody really knows yet. But
No.
there is some speculation.
So tell me, what do you know?
But the House of Representatives has scheduled an in-person voting to end July 31st.
Okay.
So here's why. Because the Senate is scheduled to start their summer recess after August 7th. Yeah. So one comes back from recess, we got a couple weeks, and the other one goes to recess.
So basically, there's months in which there's no action with our government because they're all basically on
They're on
spring
fucking
break.
spring break.
They're all in Cabo or Cancun at the Temptations resorts.
Yep.
Fucking
Or they're
each
all
other.
at fucking Sandals or beaches or wherever the fuck you go. Like, that's where they're at.
They're all at like Temptation.
Well, yeah.
They're engaging in
Because
Congress
they
orgies.
get paid
No,
even though they're not
I
working.
think they are.
Like, they're fine. They're good. And
I think they're getting
Yeah.
Congress orgies, and I think they're headed to like Temptation.
But McConnell has said
I'm really
that
like stressed out. I'm sorry. Like I'm gonna keep talking about
like
it.
we're stressed out about this. Like,
I am.
They're
Like, I don't
all
know what
fucking
they're
taking
doing.
breaks
That's
because
fucking
they're
crazy.
fine. They're getting their paychecks. They're
Right.
good. They're not
They're
going to lose their
exorbitant
house.
paychecks. They have great
Yeah.
health insurance.
Yeah,
great
they're not
pension.
losing their insurance. They're not losing their house. They're not losing their car. They're not losing anything. But McConnell has said that he expects Congress to finalize something before August 7th. But the problem with that
Yeah.
is if they don't, then we will not receive anything in July or August until they return. So it could be
okay.
September until a new relief package comes out.
Okay. So let me get this straight, just to make sure I understand what you're saying. We got $1,200. Some of us. I did not, as an example. I did not get one, and neither did any of my children.
No, we didn't.
We did not get that. But got like all these businesses, these huge businesses, you know, Macy's. And I don't know if they received any money, but like I'm really passionate about this. We put this on our Facebook too.
I'm really pissed about what they did.
Yeah, they fired 3,900 people and then gave $9 million in executive bonuses. Now, I realize those are contractually obligated to some extent, but is that not a contractual obligation to like just let people go? I mean, like, why is one better than the other? Like, it's still
Can you
at
not
will.
bring that up in like a meeting where it's like, if we forego this bonus, can we keep these people on for another month or so?
You absolutely can bring that up in meeting, and a lot of companies do that. There's this company.
Macy's did not.
No. I'm not going to say what company, but I am going to reach out to them and ask them to share their story. But there are a lot of companies who did the exact opposite of that, and what a lot of companies have done, where the CEO, the executives, the board works in a minimal capacity. They have money, obviously. They're a CEO. And if they don't, if they're starting out, they're taking a wage similar to that of their team.
Yeah.
So, like, if you expect you to live on it,
Yeah, if they expect you to have this little nest egg to like be able to live on for fucking 7 months, well, they should too.
yeah. Yeah.
But they don't.
So I want to talk really quickly.
So you got to just fire everybody?
Well, so I love that you brought that up. You just have to fire
You got
everybody.
to fire them all. How do we do that?
So the CEO, well, I have good news for you. If you are a CEO trying to do exactly that, the CEO of SHRM, and I know that I've talked badly about SHRM on other episodes. I've written a lot about them. Many of us are very disgusted about the way in which they've approached Black Lives Matter, LGBTQIA. They've stayed very passive and very neutral. And as a function of a company, as an organization that cannot be passive, cannot be neutral, we have to be, you know, progressively forward to human Right. And I don't want to get too into this today because this is still a preseason episode, but like, where is the human in human resources? So Johnny C. Taylor, who is the CEO of SHRM, he is writing a book right now during this pandemic, and it's available, or it was. Actually, he's taken it off, and it's probably from the backlash, if I'm honest. But if you want to see a screenshot of it, we'll put it up on our website. He is writing a book during COVID called, and I can't make this up. You can literally Google this. Fire half your staff, then hire and keep the team you need. If that's not the most tone fucking deaf thing you've ever heard, coming from the very organization that is supposed to be the
leader,
the
right?
leader for people like me in an organization who is supposed to do the right thing for employees. And now I get it. I'm not disillusioned. I've talked many times about this, and I write a lot about this. Like, HR has been a function of protecting the company from employees, not protecting the employees from the company. And that's really interesting.
That's real bass backwards,
and
though.
It's completely bass backward. But that's just the harsh reality of it. I'm a big proponent of no, you should separate those two.
But that's old HR, right?
It's absolutely old HR, but it's still HR today in a lot of places. And it's just fucked, right? Like, that's just not.
But we have
sucks.
great leaders today trying to make that change along
We
with
do.
us.
But unfortunately, for the people in my space, for the HR leaders that are up and coming, I do executive coaching, business therapy. I like to call it business therapy because that's really more what it is. It's not executive coaching. I'm not like rah-rahing you on. I'm kicking your ass, right? Because that's what you need. You need therapy. You need somebody to get through. And like, one of the biggest things I get is like, what are we doing? Like, what is the climate of right now? And it's like, be authentic. Don't be gratuitous in this moment. Don't write a book that's like fire your people, because like that's gratuitous. You're saying that because you know that people have minimized budgets, minimized revenue because of the exact pandemic we're going through right now, COVID-19. You know this, and that's gratuitous. So I'm really glad you took it off, Johnny C. Taylor. I don't know you. And
if you would like to come on the show and
I've invited
maybe
you before.
explain yourself, or like explain, well, this was just bad timing. You had written the book before COVID or whatever. Like, help us understand why this is the time to release this book.
Right.
Please.
Because it kind of sounds like you're pandering to companies, and like, what is really human resources then? And that's what we're going to talk about mostly on next week's episode.
Yeah. But we would like to take a minute and talk about John Lewis, and let's show some video of the best work that he's done.
Get ready to cry. It hurts.
Yeah. So here it is.
We started organizing. We were able to bring more than 250,000 people to march in Washington. And we all had to prepare a speech. I was very young, 23 years old, had all of my hair and a few pounds lighter.
I have the pleasure to present to this.
When April Randolph said, I now present to you young John Lewis, the National Chairman of the Student Nonviolent Coordinating Committee.
Brother John Lewis.
I looked to my right. I saw hundreds and hundreds of young people who had been involved during the early days. Looked straight ahead. I saw this sea of humanity. Then I looked to the left. I saw young black men and young white men up in the trees, trying to get a better view. And then I said to myself, well, this is it. And I looked straight ahead again. And something said to me, go for it. And I opened my mouth and I started speaking.
We march today for jobs and freedom. But we have nothing to be proud of. But hundreds and thousands of our brothers are not here. For they're receiving starvation wages or no wages at all. Those who have said be patient and wait, we must say that we cannot be patient. We do not want our freedom gradually, but we want to be free now. The time will come when we will not confine our marching to Washington. We will march through the South, through the streets of Jackson, through the streets of Danville, through the streets of Cambridge, through the streets of Birmingham. We must say, wake up, America, wake up, for we cannot stop, and we will not and cannot be patient.
Wow. Like, thank you, John Lewis, for everything that you have done. Like, we are forever like in debt to you, and you are forever in our hearts.
Absolutely. We're going to keep doing the work on your behalf. And so many of our friends around the world are doing it too. Your voice is loud and heard, and we're going to keep the torch burning. I'm Tara Furiani.
And I'm Justin Boggs. And this has been Not the HR Lady. We'll see you next time.
Bye.
Thanks for tuning in to today's episode of Not the HR Lady.
Engage with us on any social platform at Not the HR Lady, and visit our website for more people stuff at notthehrlady.com.
New episodes will be out every week. We'll see you next time.
Bye.